You know that feeling, right? Like AI is just moving so fast, it's almost overwhelming. Every week there's something new, and you kind of feel like you're just trying to drink from a fire hose.
Yeah, absolutely. It really feels like the pace of change has just gone like completely vertical lately.
Exactly. And that's why we were so excited when you sent us this fascinating article, Winning the AI Race in 2025, 9 Game-Changing Tools. It felt like, okay, this is what we need to unpack. This feels really timely.
Our mission for this deep dive really is to take this source material, pull out not just what those 9 tools are, but maybe more importantly, understand why this specific moment right now in 2025 is presented in the article as such a critical time to really jump in, especially
Yeah.
if you're maybe a solo creator or an entrepreneur.
Yeah, the article points to Google I/O 2025 as this kind of key moment where like things went from fast to maybe warp speed is the right term from the source. It wasn't just iterating. It felt like a fundamental shift happened there.
Here. What's really fascinating here is how the article frames that shift. It doesn't just say, hey, there are some new tools. It describes this, technological wave as the greatest opportunity of our generation. That's a strong statement.
Which, I mean, is a huge claim. And it hinges, according to the source, on why this moment in 2025 is apparently so special. So let's dig into that a bit more. Why now? What's different?
Okay, let's unpack that part first. The clearest message coming out of something like Google I/O 2025, at least according to the article, was that AI is now fundamentally multimodal.
Multimodal. Like, it doesn't just do text anymore, right? It's not just about typing prompts.
Precisely. It seamlessly understands and integrates voice, images, code, text, all within a single, coherent interaction or conversation. That's a pretty significant leap from just, hey, write me a paragraph.
Right, so you could show it something, say something, ask it to write code, all kind at once.
Yeah, exactly. It's interacting with different kinds of information simultaneously. And tied to that, the article notes that the AI is moving from being purely reactive, just answering a question you ask, to being proactive. It can actually act on your behalf.
Act. Okay, that sounds a little sci-fi.
Mhm.
What does that actually mean in practice for someone using it today?
Well, the article gives practical examples. It's not just give me information. It's send this email or schedule that call based on this context. The source even mentions the idea of AI perceiving nonverbal cues, perhaps from a camera feed, though that feels maybe a bit more on the horizon. The core point is action.
Whoa, so it's less about me just getting information from it and more about me telling it what to do with that information.
Yeah, AI that doesn't just answer, it acts. That's kind of the vibe Google was putting out, according to the source, and it feels like a different gear entirely.
Okay, that definitely feels like a big shift. And the article really pushes this idea that because of this shift, 2025 is presented as potentially the single best year for solo founders or creators, maybe even career changers, to jump in.
And the reasoning from the source is pretty compelling. These tools, this more proactive, multimodal AI, effectively gives individuals access to capabilities that used to require maybe entire departments or teams. Think marketing, legal review, large-scale content creation. Suddenly, the article argues one person with the right AI stack can leverage power that previously needed huge budgets.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting, and I got to say, a bit mind-blowing. The article mentions this anecdote about an entrepreneur who shared a screenshot. Their customer base jumped from 170,000 to over 600,000
Yeah.
in a single month.
Right, that story just sticks with you, that
Yeah.
kind of exponential hockey stick growth. The article uses it to really illustrate the potential leverage when you start effectively integrating these systems into your workflow. It's not just about saving time, it's about enabling massive scale.
Okay, so the why now feels clearer. Multimodal, proactive AI is here, it's accessible, and it's creating this huge opportunity for individuals. Let's dig into some of the specific tools and tool stacks the article highlights, the ones giving people this potential unfair advantage.
Sounds good. And let's maybe try to frame these around the impact they have first, as the article seems to emphasize the outcome. The first one the article dives into is really about creating a personalized AI assistant that's with you everywhere you work.
Okay, personalized AI assistant everywhere. How do you build that? What are the pieces?
The source points to a combination of Monica and custom GPT agents.
Mm.
Monica is that Chrome extension, right? Like a Copilot that lives everywhere you browse.
Yeah, I've seen that. It embeds itself in places like Gmail, LinkedIn, Notion, stuff like that. So you can summarize a page, draft an email reply, or write a post without ever leaving that website you're on.
Exactly. It's an AI assistant that lives right where you work. And the power really comes when you pair that with custom GPTs built in ChatGPT. The newer versions, according to the source, have persistent memory. You can really train them specifically on you, your business, your unique style, your products, your past communications.
So it's not just a general AI. It's like having a mini-me AI clone that knows everything about your brand voice, your standard operating procedures, that kind of thing.
Precisely. The article gives this great example of a strategist who created a GPT called, and I'm quoting here, "What would founders' names say?"
Oh, wow. That's direct and kind of brilliant, actually.
Yeah. Her team can generate emails, social posts, internal comms, all written in her exact tone and style, even if she's totally swamped or, unavailable.
That is wild. So instead of waiting for approval or feedback, they just generated in her style, saving tons of back and forth.
Right. The real-world results the article mentions are things like rapid contract reviews, applying the founder's specific lens, hyper-personalized customer emails that sound like they came directly from the CEO, and ensuring totally consistent social media tone across multiple channels and writers. It's truly personalized AI that knows you.
Yeah, personalized AI assistant built into your workflow. That makes a lot of sense. What's the next game-changing impact the article highlights?
Next up is making documents conversational and actionable.
Okay, because dealing with documents,
Yeah.
that's usually pretty soul-crushing, isn't it? Legal documents, contracts, reports,
Yep.
just piles of text.
Totally. The source describes the problem exactly like that, the soul-crushing pile. The solution they highlight is ChatPDF combined with ChatGPT, or really any advanced reasoning model like Claude 4 Opus, which the article also mentions as being particularly strong here.
ChatPDF. So it sounds like it lets you just talk to documents? Is that the idea?
That's precisely it. You take any PDF, a contract, a research paper, a long report, and ChatPDF makes it conversational. It ingests the document, and you can then ask questions about it.
Okay. And then you bring in ChatGPT. How did that fit?
Yes, you upload the document to ChatPDF, it processes it, and then you open ChatGPT. The article specifically notes that using the voice input here is often much faster and more natural for asking nuanced questions about a doc than typing. And you ask it specific things.
Like you could upload that 50-page contract and just ask, hey, AI, scan this and tell me the 3 biggest red flags in the liability section. Something like that.
Exactly that. Or summarize our data privacy obligations mentioned throughout the document. And then, the article notes, the crucial step is asking it to act on that analysis. Like, based on those red flags, draft a polite email to the counterparty asking for clarification on Section 3.1.
Okay, wow. That's like having, as the article puts it, a sharp, detail-oriented lawyer on call. Or maybe like a really good paralegal on Slack.
Yeah.
Without the $500 an hour fee.
Right, and the source says this specific stack can make hiring processes 5x faster just by streamlining the legal review of contracts for new hires. That's a concrete example.
It's pretty wild how these relatively simple in concept combinations unlock previously expensive or incredibly time-consuming tasks.
Exactly. It's about finding the right workflow with these tools.
That's your personal assistant and document analyst sorted. What about, like, the never-ending need for content creation and the equally never-ending stream of meetings everyone seems to have?
Ah, yes. Good points. For content, the article describes what it calls the content multiplication machine. This is a stack using Opus Clip, Gamma, and EasyGen.
Okay, content multiplication machine. I definitely like the sound of that. What's the core idea there? How does it work?
The core strategy, which the source emphasizes heavily, is that content is infinitely remixable. You create one main high-value pillar piece, maybe a long video interview, a podcast episode like this one, or a detailed webinar, and then you atomize it.
Atomize it, meaning break it into lots and lots of smaller pieces for different platforms, like TikTok, Reels, that kind of thing.
Right. You upload your long video or podcast to Opus Clip. The AI analyzes it, finds the most compelling, potentially viral moments, and automatically edits them into 10, 20, maybe even more short-form videos, pre-formatted for TikTok, Reels, YouTube Shorts, and often with captions already burned in.
Okay, so turn 1 hour-long video into dozens of short clips automatically. That's powerful. Then Gamma, what does that do?
Gamma is for visual content or presentations. You can take key ideas, talking points, or even scripts from your pillar content, and Gamma's AI quickly designs professional presentations or visual explainers. The article adds a neat workflow trick. You can actually write your script in Gamma, and it structures the slide deck around it, which makes subsequent video editing much easier.
Nice. Smart. And EasyGen, or the Claude AI, that's for the text hooks, right? the words around the clips.
Exactly. You use those tools to generate high-performing text captions, social media hooks, or longer posts, especially good for platforms like LinkedIn that drive engagement based on the core message of your content
The
clips.
source specifically mentions a copywriter who took a 30-minute interview and, using this stack, created a LinkedIn post that got over 10,000 views
Mhm.
in just 15 minutes of actual work.
Hmm.
That's serious leverage on your time and content.
It really is. It shifts the focus from like manual editing and formatting to just having to review and refine the AI-generated content. Big difference.
And meetings. Please tell me AI can fix meetings. The bane of existence for many people.
Well, maybe not fix them entirely, but the article offers tool #4, which it calls the never miss an idea again machine. This stack is Otter.ai plus Microsoft Copilot.
Okay, the old reality there is you're frantically trying to take notes, right? Scribbling away, missing
Yeah.
half what's being said, definitely missing the nuance, who agreed to what.
Exactly. Totally missing details, forgetting who was assigned what action item. The new reality, according to the source, is that meetings are automatically transcribed, summarized, and action items are assigned before you've even closed the video call window.
Okay, that sounds like actual magic.
Yeah.
How does that work? What's the flow?
Otter.ai records and transcribes meetings, both in-person and virtual. It's pretty good at distinguishing speakers, giving you this searchable text log of everything that was said.
Got it. So you have the raw transcript,
Mhm.
and then Copilot jumps in.
Yes. Copilot, if you're in that Microsoft ecosystem, takes the Otter transcript or its own transcript from a Teams meeting and analyzes the sentiment, identifies key decisions made, summarizes the core discussion, and automatically generates a list of follow-up tasks assigned to each participant mentioned.
So the summary, key decisions and action items are just waiting for everyone in the chat or a follow-up email.
Yeah.
Right after the meeting.
Pretty much. And the article has this really cool, kind of quirky, creative hack mentioned here too. Using a discrete voice recorder like an Apple Watch, or they mention the much hyped like Claude necklace device at live events.
A Claude necklace device.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds properly futuristic. What's the story there?
Yeah, right. The anecdote is about someone at Google I/O who had a team member discreetly record a talk with an Apple Watch, sent the voice note to Otter for a transcript, and then used ChatGPT to turn that transcript into a LinkedIn post that got over 6,000 impressions without them even physically sitting through the talk themselves.
Oh, wow. That's next level information capture and leverage. You can basically be in multiple places at once, information-wise.
Yeah.
Or at least capture info from places you aren't.
It totally shows how you can leverage these tools, not just to automate, but to like expand your reach and capture insights you might otherwise miss. Ideas don't get dropped. Action items are clear for everyone involved. It reduces that meeting fog.
So we've covered personal assistance, documents, content multiplication, and meeting capture. Let's look at some tools the article highlights for more specialized needs, or maybe give us a glimpse of what's just arriving, the real edge of this shift.
Right. Tool #5 is about breaking down language barriers to reach a global audience. The stack highlighted is Trint, ElevenLabs, and HeyGen, what they call the content localization powerhouse.
Localization, so like translating content for global audiences easily, making it feel native.
Exactly. If you're trying to expand your reach globally, this stack, according to the source, is key. Trint transcribes, but its really unique feature is that you can edit the video by editing the text of the transcript. If you delete a sentence in the text, that corresponding part of the video is cut out.
Okay, that seems incredibly fast and intuitive for editing, especially when you're maybe working with translated scripts later. You're editing based on meaning, not just waveforms.
It is. Then ElevenLabs is highlighted as the industry leader for AI voice cloning and translation. You can clone your own voice from a small sample and have it speak fluently and naturally in multiple languages.
So my voice, with my tone and inflections, speaking perfect Spanish or French or Russian, that's kind of amazing. And a bit unsettling, maybe.
Yeah. It potentially replaces expensive voice actors for basic narration and ensures brand consistency because it's your voice, even if you're unavailable or don't speak the language. Consistency is key there.
And HeyGen brings the visual part, makes it look right.
HeyGen handles the visual side, especially lip-syncing. It makes sure the AI-generated audio matches the speaker's mouth movements in the video. It also does automated subtitles and can even create realistic AI avatars, though the lip sync on real video is maybe the core here.
The article mentions they used this stack to dub a Reid Hoffman interview from English into Russian, and it got nearly 200,000 views in that new market. 10x faster than traditional methods. That's some serious global reach potential unlocked right there.
It definitely shows the power of this stack for like scaling your message internationally very, very quickly, removing a huge bottleneck.
Okay, what about sales?
Yeah.
Always a critical area. Any AI tools specifically for that?
Yep. Tool #6 is gong.io or chorus.ai, paired with data visualization tools like Tableau or Power BI, the sales intelligence engine, as the article titles it.
Gong and Chorus. They're the ones that record and analyze sales calls, right? Listen in and give feedback.
That's right. They connect to your sales calls and analyze the conversation in real time, tracking keywords, talk-to-listen ratios, sentiment, identifying objections. They can provide real-time feedback to sales reps and even auto-update your CRM with call details.
Wow, so it's like real-time coaching and CRM automation powered by AI listening to the call? That seems incredibly useful for improving performance.
Exactly. And then Tableau or Power BI integrate with your CRM to visualize sales performance trends in real-time dashboards. Leadership gets an instant high-level view without anyone manually compiling reports. No more waiting for end-of-month spreadsheets.
So the sales team gets objective data on what's actually happening in conversations, understanding why deals close or don't to refine their strategy. And leadership gets that instant bird's-eye view of the whole pipeline. Much faster feedback loops.
It's all about making sales strategy much more data-driven and responsive, enabled by AI analysis, less guesswork, more data.
What's next on the list? We're moving through these.
Tool #7, Gemini for Google Sheets.
Okay, this sounds like something almost everyone listening probably uses daily. Spreadsheets are everywhere, the backbone of many businesses.
Absolutely. And the article really highlights this as being revolutionary for everyday users. It calls it having your data analyst in every tab.
Your data analyst in every tab. I like that phrasing. What can it actually do inside a spreadsheet, though? What are the features?
The key capabilities listed are summarizing large sets of data, like form responses, great for job applications, feedback surveys, event registrations. You can do natural language data analysis.
Natural language. Like I can just type a question in plain English instead of some arcane formula.
Yeah, like what was the average order value in Q1 for customers in France? And it gives you the answer from the data in your sheet. It can also generate complex formulas from plain English instructions.
Wait, you just tell it what you want the formula to do and it writes the correct function? That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
No more Stack Overflow searches for VLOOKUP variations.
Pretty much. Create a formula that sums column E if column B contains the word active, and it just writes it for you. Boom. The article even mentions you can create images directly in cells using Google's EimageN model embedded within Sheets, which is interesting.
Okay, so like having a mini data analyst and maybe a basic designer right there in your spreadsheet ready on command, that seems genuinely time-saving for, well, everyone who uses spreadsheets.
Yeah, it feels like a massive unlock for anyone who spends a lot of time wrestling with data in spreadsheets, lowering the barrier to data analysis.
Okay, let's talk creativity. The article makes a point that AI isn't replacing creatives, it's giving them superpowers. What's that stack look like?
Right. Tool #8, Adobe Firefly and the AI features embedded in Photoshop. The article calls this the creative supercharger.
Oh, I've seen some of the things Photoshop AI can do. Generative fill is absolutely wild. You see those demos everywhere.
That's the core idea. Features like generative fill and generative expand let you remove backgrounds instantly, extend the canvas beyond the original frame, add realistic elements into a scene, all just by typing text prompts. Plus things like AI color matching and style transfer. It's getting really good.
And the article suggests using AI tools earlier in the creative process too, right? Like brainstorming ideas with ChatGPT or Midjourney, and then bringing those concepts into Photoshop AI for rapid execution.
Yes. It completely removes so much of the technical friction that used to slow down creative workflows. The source mentions a thumbnail designer who can now produce in minutes what used to take hours. Iteration speed goes way up.
Like creating 20 or more different thumbnail variations for a single video easily. Or changing someone's clothes, swapping backgrounds, adding specific effects. That capability fundamentally changes the speed and scale of creative output. It's huge.
It frees up creatives to focus on the actual ideas and vision rather than the painstaking technical execution. More what if, less how to.
Okay, final tool stack, number 9. The article labels these last ones as a glimpse into the future today. These sound maybe a bit newer, more experimental.
Yeah, tool #9, NotebookLM, VEO3, and Google Meet. Many of these were just announced or heavily featured recently, some from Google I/O 2025 itself, according to the source. So yeah, bleeding edge.
NotebookLM, isn't that typically for researching and summarizing documents? like a research assistant.
It is, but the new feature highlighted is audio capabilities. It can take your documents and notes and turn them into a conversational, almost podcast-style dialogue using different AI voices. One voice might represent you or your document, and another an interviewer asking questions about your material.
That is a game changer for turning text notes or research into engaging audio content quickly. I can see that being huge for creators, educators. Lots of uses.
Absolutely. Big potential there. Then VEO3, the article calls this maybe the standout announcement from I/O in terms of raw capability, really turned some heads.
VEO3, that's Google's big video generation model, right?
Yeah.
Competing with things like Sora.
It is, but what the article emphasizes is that it's one of the first models that reliably delivers fully synchronized audio alongside the visuals. Not just background music, but lip-sync speech, environmental sounds, even coherent dialogue between AI characters.
So it creates rich, immersive scenes from a text prompt, complete with realistic sounds and spoken dialogue that matches the video. That sounds like a significant leap towards, well, AI filmmaking.
That's the claim from the source. It feels like a major step towards more controllable, realistic, and complex AI video generation. Much more than just moving pictures.
And finally, Google Meet in this futuristic stack. What's the new thing there?
The real-time speech translation feature rolling out, it's starting with English and Spanish, but more languages are coming rapidly.
Like I speak in English, and someone in France hears me speaking French in real time, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Like a universal translator from Star Trek almost.
That's the vision presented in the article. It could fundamentally transform global collaboration, breaking down language barriers for teams working across different countries. Huge implications if it works well.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered everything from personal AI assistants embedded everywhere to making documents conversational, multiplying content, capturing meeting insights, localizing content globally, boosting sales intelligence, making spreadsheets smart, supercharging creativity, and getting a glimpse of the future with conversational audio, integrated video, and real-time translation. That was a lot of ground we just covered.
It was. It really shows the breadth of impact. But if we connect this all back to the bigger picture, which the article also emphasizes, it's not just about, saving 5 hours here or 10 hours there, though that's nice too.
All right, the source talks about using these tools to create space. What does that really mean?
Exactly. Space in your day, space in your mental load, space to think strategically, space to build new products, space to connect more deeply with customers, space to move your business or career forward in ways that manual work just didn't allow. That seems like the ultimate goal the article is pointing to. It's about leverage for higher value work.
And the article really stresses that despite all these capabilities we just discussed, we are still very, very early. Like, you don't need to be some kind of AI wizard right now to get started. It's not too late.
You absolutely don't. The main message from the source is you just need to, start. And the author provides, a pretty clear action plan with simple steps you can take right away, small steps.
Okay, let's quickly list those suggested action steps from the article. What's the first step they recommend? Just to make it concrete for people.
First, start simple. Just install that Monica Chrome extension. See what it's like having an AI assistant embedded in your browser. Low barrier to entry.
Get personal. The article suggests creating a custom GPT about yourself or your business. Start training it on your own info. Make it your AI.
Multiply your content. Take something you already have, maybe an old video, a podcast clip, a blog post, and run it through a tool like Opus Clip. Or ask Claude AI to turn it into social posts. See how many new pieces you can generate easily. Repurpose stuff.
Capture everything. Use Otter.ai or something similar for your very next meeting, even if it's just a one-on-one. See how it changes how you process the conversation. Get the transcript habit.
And finally, if possible, just experiment a little bit with the future. The article suggests if you have access or can find demos, spending even just an hour experimenting with something like VEO3 just to understand its capabilities and what's coming. Poke around.
So the message is definitely clear. Don't feel overwhelmed. Just pick one or two of these and start experimenting. Dip your toe in.
Yes. Because, according to the article, 2025 genuinely is presented as the best year to start. Those who begin building these skills and integrating these tools now will have an enormous compounding head start over the next few years. The gap could widen fast.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? It feels like it comes down to that key point the article leaves us with, that final thought.
This really does raise an important question. The source leaves us with this final, pretty provocative thought. The question isn't whether AI will change everything, it's whether you'll be leading that change or desperately trying to catch up.
Oof. Yeah, that definitely kind of hits you, doesn't it? It frames it not as a passive event that's happening to you, but something that requires active participation if you want to benefit. You have agency here.
It suggests that the opportunity is here, the tools are becoming incredibly capable and accessible, and the difference between riding this waves and maybe just being swept away might just be deciding to start experimenting today with one or two of these things we talked about, making that choice. Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe just pick one of the tools or stacks we discussed, the one that felt most relevant or maybe most surprising to you, and just give it a try this week. See what happens. What have you got to lose, really?
Yeah, see what space it creates for you. There's always more to learn, but you got to start somewhere, right? Jump in.
Right. What stands out to you from this deep dive into the source worth thinking about?